Okay, so now I'm live on YouTube as well. Let's continue to tap on our screen. I'm gonna just share the link and then we are gonna start. Double tap, y'all. Let's get the likes up. Continue to tap. Okay. Welcome back, guys, to another live. Hope everybody is doing great. We're back here live on TikTok and on YouTube to analyze trade, gold, and other Forex pairs that we normally trade on this live. If this is your first time joining, welcome. Great to have you here. Normally, I come live Monday to Thursday, twice a day. First time is around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Second time around 9:30 p.m. So around this time, Eastern Time. Now, over the last couple months, I've not been very consistent in it, but now I'm slowly trying to get back to it. I do have a Telegram channel that you can join as well. That's completely free. I post about minimum three signals a week on that Telegram channel, and the signals are free. You can join it by just going to my TikTok bio. You'll see a link that says, that will direct you to a bunch of other links that I have. There's one for Telegram, there's one for the YouTube channel, and a bunch of other things. Make sure you join the Telegram channel. This is the best place to be in if you are serious about Forex trading and you're serious about making money. Join the Telegram channel. The link is in the bio. Now, on the live here, we analyze a few Forex pairs and I also provide you guys basic trading knowledge. If you've been joining this live for a while, I'm sure you have learned a lot. Now, guys, let's try to get the likes to 10,000. Those watching on TikTok, our next target for likes is 10,000. Those watching on YouTube, please, let's get the likes to 10. If you can hit that thumbs up button, let's get it up to 10. Okay? Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. This is the only way you guys can show support for the free education and knowledge that you're receiving from this live. I do appreciate everybody that supports this live by either gifting, sharing the live, liking the live, and all that. This means a lot to me. It gives me more motivation, encourages me to actually continue to do the live. Okay. And it also helps with the view and the engagement whenever you are tapping and all that. It gets TikTok to show the live to other people, to more people to see. So thank you so much for continuing to tap and sharing the live. Okay, without further ado, let's get started with the analysis. We're going to start off by analyzing gold as always. This is one of my favorite pairs to analyze and trade. So we're going to start off by analyzing gold. Let's check it out. So gold right now is officially at 3,600 as I predicted last week, right? Last week gold was at, like, I think it was like 3530 or something, and I told you guys it was heading to 3600. So it finally made it there towards the end of last week, and now it's heading towards 3800. Okay, so as you can see on my chart here, this is the daily time frame. I have this white horizontal line. This is basically showing you the target where I'm expecting gold to get to. The place where it should be getting to is 3,800. This is literally the main target. Is it guaranteed that it will get there? Well, usually that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, it's supposed to get there, based on, this calculation is based on the previous pullback, right? The distance of the previous pullback is what will determine where the price is going to go to once what is causing the high movement. It broke the previous all-time high. Okay, so the previous all-time high, you know what? We're going to talk about what I know there's probably some fundamentals behind it, But the main thing is because number one, it broke the previous all-time high, which was 3,500, and now it has to go up to 3,800 because the pullback of the previous all-time. Okay, so the distance of the previous all-time from 3,500, it dropped all the way down to like 31.26 or something like that, or 31.20. So that was how far it dropped. This is why now gold has to go all the way up. Okay, it has to go all the way because that's the distance. That white line is basically the distance for the previous all-time high and the pullback of that previous all-time high. You just measure it, and then you see when the breakout happened. You put the line above the previous all-time high, and then that's basically, it was the same thing with this previous all-time high here. Same thing. The price, once we broke above, once the market broke above the previous all-time high here of 35.65, right, it was able to push all the way up to that distance. So if you just measure like this, and then you can see how gold pushed up, right? Immediately after breaking up, it just kept going up until it reached the target. But then this one, it actually went way past the target and then started retracing back up. So this is basically the same thing that's going to happen before we see like any major pullback, once maybe when it get to the halfway point, which is like, yeah, around here, like 36.50, 36.80, about there, then price may start retracing. But then major retracement we're gonna see is when we get to like 3,800 and so on. Okay, selling GBP USD long term. Okay, we're gonna check it out and see what it is showing. Okay, so anyways, let's analyze gold. Right now we are on the daily time frame. We already know where gold is heading, 3,800. What does this mean? The best trades for you to be looking for right now is to go long. Okay, this is the best trading opportunity to be looking for now. On the daily time frame, the price has just been being bullish. It's just been forming bullish candles after bullish candle. The last bearish candle we saw on the daily time frame ever since the price broke that previous all-time high was over here on Thursday last week, September 4. Okay, so that was when we saw this bearish daily candle, and then after that we now started seeing two more bullish candle, and then the current daily candle is just getting formed right now. There's about 19 hours left for that candle to finish. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we're not really seeing any structure to be looking for to look for a long, right? There's no really any structure yet, right? So we're gonna let's drop down to the 4-hour time frame and just see what the price is looking like on the 4-hour time frame. All right, so this is the 4-hour time frame, and on this 4-hour time frame we can now see also a clear uptrend. And then now on this 4-hour time frame we can actually see some structure that is actually playing out. We see that the price is forming higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so the last previous higher high was over here at 3,600, and then the higher low was around 35.74. Okay, so that is basically it. Ever since the price broke above that, it hasn't come back to do a retest on it. It's just been going higher and higher. So this 3,600 would definitely act as a very strong support if the price decides to come back to it without forming any new higher low. Okay, so that's the 4-hour time frame. Now we're going to check the 1-hour time frame and see what it's looking like. On the 1-hour time frame, we can also see some structure that is playing out. Okay, we can see a very clear uptrend. Price is going higher and higher. The last previous higher high was at 3,600 again, and then the higher low was around 3,400. So same thing it's in alignment with the 4-hour time frame, and then ever since that break, price just kept going higher and higher. We didn't see any sort of pullback until up here. Okay, when the price got to 36.46, that's when we saw like a slight pullback to this fair value gap. So there's a fair value gap right here. Okay, so between 36.26, 36.29, we saw a fair value gap there. Price came there and used that as support to now continue going higher. So now our current resistance or high is right here at 36.46. So I'm just putting a red line right there so you guys can see it. That is our current high, aka current resistance. So the next thing the price needs to do is if it wants to continue going higher, we need to break above this 36.46. If we break above it, then we're going to keep going higher. The next resistance, I cannot really say because there's no resistance right now. Usually if there's no resistance along the way, the price tends to pull back every $5 increase. Okay, so every $5 increase, that's when we see, if that's how we see a pullback, every $5 increase. If there's no resistance along the way, it will like retest. Okay, major levels, yeah, tend to be around, so number one, 35, like the 40s. Okay, so 40s, what else, 60s, 80s, 90s. Those are very strong levels that price tends to react from every time it doesn't have any type of resistance along the way. So the last area where we saw price reject heavily was the 3600. You see, when it got to 3600, it heavily retraced back down. Okay, and then it kept going up. We didn't see any sort of like major pullback until we got to the 40s. Okay, so the 40s is where we now see the next major pullback, and then now the price, okay, and before this, yeah, 80. So we saw, so here, let me just show you guys. Okay, so when the price broke 3500 here, this 3500 resistance, it kept going up, going up, and then we saw a huge retracement around 35.40s, like around the 35.40s, 45. That's where we saw a huge retracement. Once the price was able to clear that, it then continued going higher. The next major area where we saw retracement was around 35.80. Okay, so 35.80 is where we saw the next major pullback. Once the price was able to clear that 35.80, it then continued going higher, then got to 3600. From 3600, then we saw the next major pullback. Now, the next one, now 36.40, 45. So now if we can break above 36, this 36.46, we are going to most likely push all the way to like 36.70, 36.80 before we see any like major pullback. Okay, so the last best time to have gone long on gold would have been at this fair value gap, although the price didn't fully fill it. Okay, just tapped into it and then boom, took up. But between that, so 36.29 and 36.23, that would have been the best area to look for long on gold. That would have been one of the best area. The other one would have been back at this previous higher low, which price never came to. So since that's not the case, the price is no longer there. If you're trying to go long on gold right now, just know it is a bit risky, even though, yes, we know price could be going up higher, but then because it is at a resistance right now, trying to go long is a bit risky, right? You do not want to ever buy, you don't ever want to go long on the price whenever it is at resistance. If you're doing that, it just means you are buying through emotions, using intelligence to go long, which is not good. So what I would like to see the price do is break this current high, okay, So I want to see the price break this current high 36.46 and then go higher. And then once it comes this high, it's going to turn into support. Okay. So then we can start looking for a long when the price comes back to retest this 36.46 as support. That would be now the best area to go long. Okay. So none of that has happened yet. Right now, the price is actually, yeah, it's just at that resistance. So let's see whether it's going to be able to break it or not. If it's going to break it, great. If it not, if it gets rejected, okay, we have a possible area to go long. Let me mark it here. So on the 5-minute time frame, let's see. Yeah. So on the 5-minute time frame, we have, so price just broke this, okay, this lower high here. So we can actually go long around, so around 36.35, okay, 36.32. If it drops back to that level from where it is, then we can actually go long around that area. Okay, let's double tap on our screen, guys. If you're just joining the live, welcome. Right now I am analyzing gold. This is what I do on the live Monday to Thursday. First live is around 9:30 a.m. Second live is around 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. I do have a Telegram group that you can join as well. The link is in the bio. It's free. Go to the bio and make sure to join the Telegram channel if you're serious about learning trading. I also provide you guys with basic trading knowledge on the Telegram channel. Okay, on the Telegram channel as well. So make sure to join it to get free signals and free trading education. Okay. All right, so it looks like it's breaking that resistance. As you guys can see, it's currently above it. It's now at 36.47. So this is a breakout, okay? It is breaking out on the lower time frame, but we also need to see that the breakout is happening on the 1 hour, on the higher time frame, at least 30 minutes. Let me just check the 30 minutes time frame. Okay, so even on the 30 minutes, we didn't get a clear candle closing above that resistance. Let's see the 15 minutes. Okay, on the 15 minutes, we also didn't get any clear breakout. I've tried joining your Telegram, but it's not accepting. All right, Charles, you can send me a message so I can manually add you, or what you can do to make the link work is just when you open the Telegram link, it will open it up, right? So what you want to do, copy that link, go to a different browser, and then paste the link. Okay, if you do that, then it's going to work 100%. You just need to join from a different browser. It will not allow you to join when you're opening the link directly from TikTok. So yeah, so that's it. So for gold right now, if it does come down from where it is, we have a good area to go long, right? Let me go back to the 5 minutes, okay? So we have a good area to go long from 36.35 and 36.31, okay? So that would be, yeah, that would be the area we are going to want to go long on gold, okay? Yeah, so I'm just like marking it. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so I'm going to just set an alert around 36.35. That way we can analyze another pair. If price comes there, we can go long between 36.35 and 36.31. And then if we go long here, the stop loss will be slightly below 36.27. Okay, so we'll be slightly below this line here. Okay, so let's continue to tap on our screen, guys. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes to 30,000 to 10,000. Okay, let's get the likes to 10,000. Yeah, so we'll come back on gold later since there's no really any trading opportunity that I see right now. Let's head over to the next pair on our list. We're gonna check EUR NZD. This is a pair that I gave a long signal on earlier today. So for those who are not yet in the trade, you can enter the trade because it's still pretty early. Okay, so this is EUR NZD. I'm going to use the word long. I'm trying to refrain from using the other term because of TikTok. Okay, so the TP1 for this one, I posted it all in the Telegram, but let me just put it here as well. So we have 199, 199.02. Okay, and then we have the TP number 2 at 199 like 65. Okay, so 199, yeah, 199.60 actually. Okay, so it's 199. Wow, look at that, it's actually breaking it. So 199.60, and then we have the stop loss at 197. If I can remember correctly, it was 97.28. Okay, so that is it. This is one trade that you can take that provides a good risk to reward. If you do take the trade, make sure you apply proper risk management. Irene, what do you think about EUR NZD? I just told you right now, okay? So this is it. I'm expecting it to go back up towards 199, yeah, 199.60 and so on. That is my prediction for this pair here. It is in an uptrend. Right now it's just been pulling back down. Okay, it's just been pulling, doing a retest. So it's at a good spot to now. Wow, gold. Gold is amazing. It's just pushing. Yo, guys, look at gold. Let me go back to gold, okay? Look at the way gold is pushing, y'all. This is amazing. The way it is just pushing like crazy. It has now officially like, yeah, there's no way it's gonna come back down now. Like this is definitely like going straight. This is definitely going straight to like 36.70 at least. At least 36.70. And then yeah, so our targets, if you're gonna go long here, just go do that at your own risk. For me, I just wouldn't, just because I don't know, anything can happen, so me, I don't want to fully trust the market when it is at a high, when it's creating a new high. I only trust it when it has, I can see that it's creating a low, right? I want to see a major sell off, and then I'm buying at the bottom, not at the high. So yeah, but I'm already in a long. I've been in a long since 3600. So I'm just going to keep holding those longs. I've closed some position around 30. I mean, not 3600. I've been in a long since 3500. Okay. Break of 3500 is actually when I entered a long. And then, yeah, and then I closed some position at 36. So anyways, let's now analyze something else. So we've looked at EU or NZD. This is one pair that we are currently in a trade here because we see a good trading opportunity. Let's go and check out. All right, I'm just getting an alert on one of the pairs here, AUD USD. Let's check it out as well. This is going to be the next pair for us to analyze. Let's see what's happening with this pair. It's also bullish, okay? USD JPY, yeah, I'm gonna look at it as well. This is another pair that I analyze and trade sometimes. Okay, so yeah, this pair here, let's see. This pair here, I'm gonna delete all of this because it's irrelevant as of now. This no longer mean anything. Okay. Okay, so it is high. I'm gonna check the daily time frame. Okay, just to have an idea of where it is going because it is actually going up higher and higher. So let's just check out the daily time frame, see where the price is at. Okay. All right. So this is the daily time frame. Right now, the structure looks bearish. Okay. The structure looks bearish. Okay. However, we did have a break of structure over here. So the price broke the previous lower high, which was at 64.14. Okay. So usually when the price does that, this is a signal that the market wants to now start going up higher. Okay. The market wants to start going up higher. Yeah. So that's like when we now want to start looking for opportunities to go long. Okay. Now, ever since the market broke this previous lower high, it just started like moving like sort of like sideways. Okay. The second lower high of this uptrend or of this downtrend rather. Okay. The second, we actually have two trends. Okay. So the market, for beginners that may not know this, but market can have many different trends. Okay, we have a major trend and a smaller trend within a bigger trend. That makes sense. Okay, so if you look at this outwardly right now, this is the bigger trend. It is bearish. We have this downtrend that is playing out with the current low being right over here. Okay, this is the current low. The previous lower low is actually right over here at 61.85, and the previous lower high is here. But then within this, inside of this, we also have like a bearish move that is playing out. Okay, so we have like a smaller, how do I say it? Like a smaller uptrend, okay, that is currently playing out. The last smaller uptrend we had was over here. Okay, so we saw how the price broke this, broke this high, then broke the second one, and then it came back for a buy down here. So same thing, now we have a smaller downtrend that is also playing out right now. And this smaller downtrend actually started over here. It started at 69.38. Okay, so at 69.38 is when this smaller downtrend started. This smaller downtrend started over there. Okay, so it's just been going lower and lower. So now we finally see a break of structure out of this smaller downtrend, and then the second lower low or lower high. Okay, the second lower high for this smaller downtrend, I'm going to just try to mark it. So I have this right here, and then the next one. Okay, you need to be very like careful here. Sometimes you can get it wrong. So I need to like, okay. So here, so I see, yeah. So it's right here. And guess what? I think the price broke that as well. Yeah. It broke it. So it looks like this pair here is on a mission to be heading all the way up to 69.46. Okay. If this actually plays out, this is where it should be heading. It should be pushing to that 69. Okay. But it may actually, I'm going to just tell you guys a good area to short it. Okay. So from what I'm seeing here, a good area to short it. Let me just mark. So we have right here. So that's one possible area to start entering short. Okay. We can start entering short around there. So yeah, that's one area that you can look for short in the future for this pair 67.74. So between 67.74 68.25. Okay, but for now the pair is it should be going up. Okay, so from what I am seeing on this daily time frame, we can see now an uptrend that is forming. This is like a smaller uptrend. What happened last time? Previous higher high here 65.93, price broke it, came back for retest, respected. Okay, it respected the second higher low and then it held it. Now it's going back up higher. So the next thing that's going to happen is it has to break this current high 66.24, and then if it can break above that, then it will go higher. So what do you do at this point? You of course want to be looking to go long now, but where do you go long exactly? Well, you want to go long at support. We have some support right over here. So I'm gonna mark this support right here. So we have a support at 65.40, 65.45, 65.69. This would be a good area to go long, okay? So that'll go long. So what's gonna happen is either one, price comes back to this support of 65. Okay, so between 65.72 and 65.46, it can come back there from where it is right now, then you can go long. Or number two, it breaks above this 66.25 resistance. It breaks above that, and then that is going to turn into support. You can look to go long around that area. Okay, but for now, where the price is, um it is not recommended. Okay, so I'll go long, like I said, guys, between 65.67 and 65.46. Okay, so you can mark that on your chart. You can mark that level 65.67 on your chart. That way when the price comes there, we can go long. For now, it is not there, so let's move on with the next pair on our list, which is USD JPY. Let's continue to tap on our screen, guys. You guys are not tapping. This is causing the view to decrease, which is not good. Please support the live by tapping on your screen. Double tap. Thank you so much, Xni. Hello. Okay, we're gonna start the educational part of the live very soon. This is the part where you get to learn some of the strategy that I use to be able to look for trading opportunities, and you can also use it as well. Okay, it's a good. So we're gonna start that very soon. Let's check out USD JPY before we get into that. So I'm gonna open it up here, the chart that I actually use. Okay, so USD JPY. All right, that's not the chart. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so let's check it out. This is USD JPY. See what has been happening with this one. It's going down. Okay, I will just check the daily time frame for minutes. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so on the daily time frame, on this daily time frame for USD JPY, we have an up downtrend. Okay, we have a downtrend that's playing out. I'm gonna just mark the previous lower low right here. Okay, so previous lower low right here, and then the previous lower high. Okay, so let me see. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I have the previous lower low and the previous lower high marked. Okay, so we can clearly see that the price did break above the previous lower high. That is called, that is usually a sign price wants to go up higher. Now we need to see the second lower high as well. Okay, we see the second lower high also. Second lower high also did get broken. Okay, so we did break that, and then yeah, price has come down to the, it came down all the way back down. So usually whenever price breaks above the first lower high, right? The bottom of that lower high turns into support. Okay, so the bottom of that lower high, thank you famous for the gift. Okay, the bottom of that lower high turns into support. This is usually a good area to go long. I'm going to explain this very soon. This is one thing we're going to learn about today, is how you can look for opportunities to go long when the market is shifting, is changing trend, moving from a downtrend to an uptrend. How can you exactly be entering a trade? Okay, I will be explaining that very soon. So we see what happened. The price after breaking the lower high, 149, right? It went up to wherever 160, I think, or 159. Okay. And then from there, it then came back down into this zone here for a long. So this would have been a really good area to go long. So that is between 144.62 and 141. Okay, so between 144.62 and 141 is the zone to go long. Price came there, tapped into it, and it's been going up. And then the target, right? The target is back of this high. Okay, so this is where the price is supposed to go back to 158. 158. 158. This previous high is where this pair USD JPY is supposed to be going to. Okay, so best area to have gone long is here. Price push, but right now we can see it's kind of like it's not going, like it started going up, but then it found some resistance, and then it's just pulling back down, but eventually it should continue going up higher. Okay, yeah, it should continue going up higher. We can look, there's two areas to look for long. Okay, so when the price comes back at 144.69, okay, so 145 actually, so starting from 145, this is an area to go long. So from 145, between 145, anywhere between this zone, this is, oops, this is the zone to go long on USD JPY. Okay, USD JPY, 145 and 141, 142. Okay, okay. So this is um This is the expectation for USD JPY. Okay. So this is the expectation for USD JPY. In fact, I think this SL might it's at a perfect area actually. Yeah. Yeah, never mind. So this trade, yes, it does have a huge stop loss, but the profit is also very huge. It's about 2 times the SL. So if you're gonna enter this trade, make sure you apply proper risk management. But yeah, this is the prediction for USD JPY. It should be heading back up, but before it does that, I think it should drop back down to like 145 or so to head back up. Right now, it's basically consolidating. Okay, it's currently consolidating between this support and resistance between 146.67 and 148.85. So in order for it to go up, it has to drop back down, right? Grab to come back down, and then it will be able to push back up. So yeah, so look to go long on USD JPY between 145, 142. Okay. Target 159. That's about it. Okay, I think that is it. GBP USD also probably going to be the last pair that I analyze. So let's take a look at GBP USD. Let's continue to tap on our screen. We're almost there at 10,000 likes. Thank you so much, everyone who's supporting this live. I really appreciate it. Okay. All right. So GBP USD. Someone in the comments said they're selling GBP USD long term. I wonder why that is, because I'm looking at it right now. It looks like GBP USD is currently in an uptrend. Okay. It looks like it's currently in an uptrend, so I don't know why you would want to be selling it. Not sure. I'm not seeing a reason to sell it. Let's see here. So it's in an uptrend. We see that the price pullback respected the second higher low here, used it. Okay. So this is a really strong area for a long. Okay. This is a strong area for long. The second higher low. The second higher low in an uptrend can act as a very strong area for a trend continuation for the uptrend. Okay. So just know that if the price decides to hold the second higher low of an uptrend, it will tend to continue the uptrend. All right. So that is exactly what's happening here with GBP USD. Now we have an opportunity. Let me see here. I'm trying to see if there's any opportunity for possible short. Yeah, we do actually. For GBP USD, we have a short opportunity. Okay, so possible short for GBP USD up here between, okay, so starting from 37.09 and 37.32, that will be a good area to short GBP USD. Okay, so that's this is where GBP USD is heading, by the way, in case you're wondering. I think GBP USD is heading towards 137.005, 137.2030. Okay, so that is where it's most likely heading. I don't think it will pass 135.95. 135.95. Hmm. We'll see. Yeah, let's see. I don't, yeah, for me, that would be where I'm going to look for a short. But if it doesn't come there, then yeah, I'm not entering any trade. Yeah, for the stop loss. Okay. 43. Okay. And then, oops. Hey guys, let's continue to tap on our screen. So that's GPUSD. I'm gonna set an alert. I'm setting an alert at 137, 137.05. Okay. So I just set an alert there. So when the price comes there, I will now come and check it out, seeing what's going on. Okay. So that's GBPUSD. Okay. Right now it is in an uptrend. So there's a possibility this sell might not play out just because it's an uptrend. So it may, let's see if it's going to be able to break it to go higher. But if it does, then yeah. But for now, it is going up. Okay, so for now, it is going up. Last good area to have gone long would have been at 133.45. Okay, we had a good demand zone right there. So price held that. Now it's going up. I'm going to go to the 1 hour time frame to see if there's any reason for the price to come back down at all. Let's see. On the 1 hour time frame, we want to see if there's any reason for the market to come down. Let's double tap on our screen, guys. Double tap. Yeah, so from what I'm seeing, I'm really trying to study this. Let's check this out. Okay, so that was already used up. Okay, so let's continue to tap on our screen, guys. Let's double tap. Okay, and then we have another fair value gap resistance. right here as well. Yeah, we have another fair value gap resistance right here. So these are two things. This is one thing that can actually bring the price back down. Okay. So yeah, that's one thing that could bring the price back down. Okay. But if you go on the daily time frame, number one, we need to really understand what is happening on the daily time frame. Okay, we had the price actually broke this previous higher low. Okay, it broke this previous higher low 133.70 right here. Broke it, went back for retest, right? Went back for retest and it did get rejected, right? We had a resistance here that should have been enough to bring the price down. The target would have been for the price to go back and revisit this low and even come back to this second higher low, but instead the market didn't get rejected. Okay, it came back and then it created a higher low. Okay, instead came back, created a higher low. So there's a very high possibility that it's going to break this current high to now create a new high. And then the strongest area where it could actually get rejected to go back down is going to be around it's going to be around 137.05. So between 137.05 and 137.30, that would be like the strongest area that could cause the market to go down. This one here, this 136 is like is not that strong from what I'm seeing. Okay, we do have two equal highs right here. This is a liquidity right there. Okay, so the price is going to want to clear that before it could possibly go back down. So don't look to go long. Don't look to short 36. Like for me, I wouldn't short it. I would wait for the price to break above this equal highs, and then come to 137.05 for me to go ahead and short. That would be a good area to short GBP USD, okay? And that's pretty much it. That's all I see. So for now, if you want a long GBP USD, it is also too risky because it is at a resistance. Okay, to long it would have been the best area to have longed it would have been down here at 133.28, but it's no longer there. So yeah, so you don't want to go long there. A good area to potentially go long if it comes back down. Let's say it does get rejected here, but then it pushes back down. You could most likely go long at 134.64. Okay, so you can go long at 134.60, or is it 62? Okay, so basically here, this red candle that you see here, okay, so that is a fair value gap there. So price is gonna, yeah, it's gonna respect that. If it does come back down from where it is, this would be a good area to purchase it. But other than that, if it doesn't do none of that, you don't want to do anything. So for GPUSD right now, unfortunately, there is no trading opportunity. Okay, so we're done with all the analysis. Let's check gold one more time just to see what's happening since we analyzed it. See where is it at right now. Let's continue to tap on our screen, guys. Let's get the lights up. Double tap. Double tap, people, please support the live. Okay, so I've said a lot of things today. Okay, now let's get into the knowledge. Let's try to understand how do you analyze, like, let's see how you can be able to predict where the price is going, how you can look for opportunities to go long or short. So just checking gold right now. Okay, just a recap, we analyzed it. It is currently an uptrend. It's currently heading towards 3,800. Okay. Gold is heading towards 3,800. That is the target We are going to get there eventually. This is based on the daily time frame analysis. Okay, it is already like very close to it. So it is heading there eventually. You want to be looking for opportunities to go long, right? Look to go long whenever price pushes back down to a support, then you go long. The last support that we actually have right now is 36.46. That is the last previous higher high the price left. Now we are going to create a new high, right? The current candle is breaking that. There's about 18 minutes left. So this area now is going to turn into support. So you want to go long. You don't want to go long at that support. You want the price to actually break through it. So we now have a good area for you to go long between 36, okay, for gold, between 36, 38 and 36, 33. That would be the area to go long if price returns back there. Okay, based on what I'm seeing. Going to the 5-minute time frame for scalping opportunity. For scalping opportunity on gold, if price is going to come back down, you can actually go long here. Okay, so good area to go long for those who want to like enter to, for that target. Because right now, I think it's heading towards 36.80, right? So we can actually go long down here at 36.47. 36.47. I'm going to set an alarm here. Okay. So price of gold. Thank you for the roses. Idian. Okay. So gold returns back to 36.48. Yes, to 36.48. Between 36.48 and 36.46, that would be a good area to go long. If you go long there, just set your stop loss, just slightly below 36.42. That would be a good area to go long, okay? And then you can just stay in the long until that 36.80. We'll see if price is going to get there. So, yeah, I think it's coming back down. From what I am seeing, it is going to come back down. So, anyways, guys, I just have a few minutes left, about 15 minutes or so. So let's get into the educational part of the live. Let me get into it. I'm going to teach you guys something that will help you a lot. Okay, so we're about to learn about how you can join the trend. Okay, when the price is switching from, let's say, a downtrend. If you want to know the information about the one-on-one class at the end, just send me a message. I'll send you the information. Okay. So as we all know, okay, we have two type of trends that the market can be in. Either it is going up, forming higher highs. Okay. So either the price is going up, forming higher highs and higher lows. Okay, this is called an uptrend. This is when the market is an uptrend, it's forming new highs, new lows. Each high is higher than the previous high, and then each low each low is higher than the previous low. Okay, so that's an uptrend. Now when the market is in this uptrend, it can switch to a downtrend. The downtrend basically looks like this. This is when it is forming lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so this is what a downtrend looks like. Okay, this is what a downtrend looks like, and this is what an uptrend looks like. Market eventually will switch from an uptrend to a downtrend and vice versa. Okay, from downtrend to back an uptrend. Now, in order for the market to switch from uptrend to a downtrend, one of the things that needs to happen is that we need to break the previous higher low. Okay, so when the previous higher low gets broken, this is now a shift in the market. Okay, this is usually what we call break of structure. Price has now broken the current structure, which was bullish. Now it is now entering a bearish structure. Okay, so when you see that break, the break is confirmed once we see a bearish candlestick closing below the higher time frame. Okay, so wherever you're viewing, wherever you're seeing that uptrend, you want to use it's usually good to use like a higher time frame candle. Like for example, if you're looking at this uptrend on the 1 hour, if this previous higher high, higher low is being seen on the 1 hour, then it's usually good to either see a 30 minutes or 1 hour bearish candle closing below that previous higher low. This is going to give you a confirmation that it has broken that it's now a sign that we could be possibly shifting to the downside. But keep note, it is not guaranteed, because there are also times when it will break below this and then it may drop a little bit. Usually when we break the previous higher low, the price tends to drop to the second higher low. Okay, so when price breaks the previous higher low, the next target where it's going to want to go to is the second higher low. Now, the second higher low is the area where it can now decide that if it really want to go down, if it's serious about going down, it might as well also break the second higher low. Okay, if it breaks the second higher low, now we know for sure price is going to be heading down. But if it doesn't, instead it decides to hold that second higher low. Okay, if it decides to hold that second higher low, then there's a chance that we could actually continue the uptrend and go higher. Okay, so knowing that we're holding the second higher low is when you see a bullish candle forming when the price comes to the second higher low. Okay, so that's one thing. So what do you do with this knowledge? Well, knowing that price breaking the previous higher low is a possibility that we could be heading down. You want to look to sell. That's number one. But you do not want to sell right away. Okay, you don't want to, just because you see the breakout, do not short right away. You want to short when the price is pulling back up to a supply zone. Okay, you want to see the price pull back up to a resistance that was created before this breakout. Okay, so we have the resistance in two forms. The first one can be in the form of a fair value gap. Okay, so the price would have created like a fair value gap right above the candle that broke that that low. Okay, so the fair value gap, I'm sure you guys, I hope you know what a fair value gap is. Okay, so let's assume this is where the fair value gap was at. Okay, so that would be where you are going to practice patience and wait for the price to pull back to, and then you go ahead and short. Okay, that is one of the only place you want to short, around that fair value gap. The other place where you want to short is at a resistance. So if there's no fair value gap, sometimes there's going to be a resistance instead, which is basically a bullish candlestick followed by a bearish candlestick. So when the price creates this, then you will wait for the price to pull back. Okay, so you're going to wait for the price after that breakout to pull back up, and then you short. That's pretty much it. Okay, so this is how you can join the trend. Okay, you can now join, because this is the beginning. This is signaling the beginning of a downtrend, so you can actually get in early. Okay, once you short it, you can now target the second higher low as your TP number 1, then target the third higher low as your TP number 2. You just target whatever lows. Usually 1 or 2 TP is good enough. But that's basically it, right? So when the price switches from an uptrend to a downtrend, it is now going to start forming lower lows and lower highs until whenever it switches out of that downtrend back to an uptrend. Okay, So that's an uptrend. Now let's talk about the downtrend, and then I'm also going to show you guys a few examples before we end the live. So in a downtrend, for the price to get out, to break out of this downtrend, the first thing that needs to happen, okay, is we need to break the previous lower high, the most recent. Okay, so gold, let me go back. Gold is now at the zone to go long. Okay, it is now at the zone. Let me just look at it here. Okay, it has a zone to go long here. Okay, this one here is a bit risky, so if you're going to go long here, just just don't have too much confidence, because it is, we're entering based on this lower time frame previous high here. So this is 36.47. It has already retraced quite a lot. You can see, yeah, 48, push back to 49. So I'm expecting it to hold, to continue going up higher. If it holds, great, then we'll continue going higher. If we don't, if we actually break through, then we just go long at our original area anyway, which is at 36.38. So between 36.38 and 36.33, that would be like the strongest area to go long if price comes down to it. Okay, so that's it. Let me go back here. Let's finish up with the lesson. I hope you guys are learning a lot. Okay, so back to the downtrend, right? In order for the market, EUR NZD still safe to enter. Yeah, it's still good. Still good. Okay, so in order for the market to switch out of this downtrend to an uptrend, the first thing that needs to happen is that we need to break the previous lower high. Okay, so we need to break the previous lower high. And how do you confirm the break? Is when we see a bullish candle closing above, above that lower high. Okay, so when price comes and closes a bullish candle above that lower high, this is now confirmation that we have broken it. So what do you want to do? You want to now start to go long. You want to look for opportunity to go long at the support that was created. Again, we have a fair value gap. Okay, so either there's going to be a fair value gap for you to go long at. If there is, that is where you want to go long. So the price will eventually come here. Okay, and then this is where you want to go long. All right, this is where you want to go long. If there's no fair value gap, then there's gonna potentially be a support that was created. That support is basically a bearish candlestick followed by a bullish candlestick. Okay, so that is a form of support that price tends to create right before breaking that previous lower high. If it has the intention of going up higher, actually switching the trend, it would have created something like that, and this is be the place for you to be buying, so that you just join the trend. Okay, and when you buy there, you want to basically target the second lower high to take profit number one, third lower high, take profit number two, and so on. Okay, now here's the thing. Whenever price breaks the most recent lower high, there's two things that can happen. Either one, it may push, it may not return to that zone for you to go long right away. Okay, sometimes the market may not give you that opportunity to actually join the trend. If the buying pressure is very strong, it may not return. It would just like go higher, and then you feel like you've missed out on the trend. But don't worry, okay, that zone there is still very strong for you to go long in the future. So this is what it will look like. Let me show you an example of what it will look like. So we have a downtrend, lower low and lower high. Okay, lower low and lower high. And then we have the previous lower high right here, which the price came and broke above. Okay, it broke above, and then instead of returning back to our demand zone, which is right here, okay, instead of returning back to our demand zone to give us the opportunity to actually join the trend, it didn't. Instead, the price started going higher and higher. It just decided, maybe it pulled back down here and then decided to start forming an uptrend like this. Okay, so yeah, you technically missed out. You did miss out, but the best area to buy is down here. Price didn't come here. Does this mean that this area is no longer going to be valid for you to go long? No, it's still going to be a good area. So what's going to happen is if the price returns back down here, you can still enter your long. You can actually go long here. Now you can now target this high as your take profit, okay? Because this is where the price is going to go back to, okay? So now you have like a high. This is like 90% guarantee that it will return back to that high. And yeah, so it provides you, compared to the first one where your TP is not that huge, but this one is huge. Now let's do the uptrend version. So for the uptrend version, we could also have something similar. So we have an uptrend that is we have an uptrend that is playing out. Okay, we have an uptrend that is playing out, and then we have the previous higher low. Okay, we have the previous higher low, which the market comes ahead and breaks, and then it never makes it back to your area to go short. Okay, it doesn't make it back there. Instead, okay, it doesn't make it back. Okay, it doesn't make it back. Instead, oops, my laptop is about to die. So it doesn't make it back. Instead, it just starts a downtrend right away. Okay, it starts a downtrend right away. This zone where you were supposed to go long at, okay, what, stop lying to people guarantee. Yeah, this is literally 90% guarantee. So yeah, so the price breaks it. Okay, so this zone here you were supposed to short at is still gonna be valid. All right, if the price comes back to it, you can look to go short. Okay, so if it returns back here, you can now short here and then target this low as your take profit. Got it? So that is how you can, this is a strategy that you can use to be able to join the beginning of an uptrend and so on. Okay, so now that I've done explaining it, showing you guys just drawing it, now we're going to find a few examples of this. You know, let's check it out on gold. Actually, let's use gold as an example. Okay, and this is a strategy, by the way. You can use this on, you can check it out on the 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes time frame. Okay, if you want to see more of the setups, then 5 minutes, 15 minutes time frames are usually like where you're going to be able to see it more often. 1 hour and so on, you may not see it that often. Like gold, you know, it did not create that setup at all for, yeah, since, let me see here. So the last time that we saw it here. Okay, so for gold here, we have, I'm trying to find a good example. Where's a good example here? Okay, so we have we actually have one right here. Okay, so we have this. So this was a previous lower low. Okay, so previous lower low here on gold. Oh, you can see that zone is being respected, guys. So if you enter the buy, congrats, you just made about, I mean, you can keep holding it. Okay, keep holding it. Like I said, it is a risky one, but pray that it plays out. Okay, so this is a previous lower low, and then this was a previous lower high right here. Okay, so this was a downtrend. If I zoom out, you can see that we had a downtrend right here. So this was a downtrend right here. You can see, right? So this was our previous lower low right there, previous lower high, marked it. And then what do we see? We can see a breakout. Okay. We see the price broke out, right? We see this 1 hour candle closing, closing above. All right. So back to what I was saying. Where's that example? Um, okay, so we have the breakout. Okay, we have the breakout that happened right over here, as you can see. Okay, and below that breakout, we have a bunch of fair value gap. Okay, we actually have a bunch of fair value gap that the price created. There was one right over here. There was one right over here. There's another fair value gap over here. We have another fair value gap over here. Okay, so as you can see, we had a lot of fair value gap. Usually in this scenario, if there is, just trying to delete these things. Okay, in this scenario, if we have a bunch of fair value gap like this, it is usually best to go with the last fair value gaps. Okay, the last, the one at the bottom. You don't want to look to go long on the fair value gap. That's like, if there's like a bunch other below the most recent one, it's best to try to enter at the one, the ones that are the bottom of this support. Okay, so this previous lower low is actually the support, right? It was also resistance. Once price is below it, it is resistance. But when price breaks above it, all right, it breaks back above it and then goes above the lower high, then this previous lower low turns into support. It's actually a very, very strong support. It's actually a great area to also long. This is another strategy that I have, right? It turns into a strong support. You go long here, and then usually you want to target this top part here as your take profit, okay? But that would be where you want to go long. If there's any fair value gap near that area, that would be a good area to go long. So in this case, we do have a fair value gap right here, as you can see. Okay, not only do we have a fair value gap, but we also have a support. So we have this bearish candle followed by this bullish, which is another form of support. So we have two very strong support that the price could use to put up. Okay, so now you can see how when it came back, it actually respected it, and then it ended up going to the second lower high, which in this example is right over here. Okay, so the second lower high for this is right here, and we can see that the price eventually went back. Okay, so that's one example that I can find here for gold on this 1 hour time frame. Other than that, gold has just been going up higher and higher, so it hasn't created that setup at all on this 1 hour time frame. But if you switch to the 5 minute, okay, if you switch to the 5 minute time frame, we could see it playing out. Okay, you can actually find a bunch of examples. I'm going to try to look through. Sometimes like once the price has already created like the setup, it can be very hard to look for it. So let me look at the recent price movement here. Let's look at the recent price movement. If we had if I can see some examples like playing out. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, so recently here, we didn't see that. Yeah, we didn't see that at all. Okay, we do have the price created the structure, but it hasn't come to the zone to like for you to go long. So we have the low here, previous lower low, lower high, second lower low, lower high. Okay, so this is, you want to mark the second lower high, because the second lower high is basically, or did I say the second? So you want to mark the previous lower low. Okay, you want to mark the previous lower low right there. Well, if we have second lower low break as well, that's even a more stronger confirmation. And then below this, below the candle that broke that, we have the fair value gap right here. This is going to be a strong area to go long. Okay, if the price of gold comes back down there, so this is 36, 32, so between 36.32 and 36.30, that would be a strong area to go long on gold. Okay, so let's see, before this one here, if there was any other time it created this. Not at all. Okay, the price of gold has just been very, very like heading towards one direction. So let's see here. Okay, so here we had, this, yeah, so the price never came to it though. Yeah, it never came to it, so we can't use that. We're trying to find an example where price actually, okay, so here we have an example right here. Okay, so here was a downtrend that was on the 5 minute time frame, and then with this downtrend, we see we have the previous low. Okay, the previous lower low right here. So I just mark this, the previous lower low and lower high. Okay, now so price broke it right here. Okay, so here's the breakout. This is the breakout that happened right there. Okay, so below this candle we have the fair value gap, aka support. Okay, so below this candlestick here, we have the support right over here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see what it looks like. For those who may not know what a fair value gap looks like. Okay, so it's basically a space between the first candle, okay, this candle here, and then a candle in the middle, and then a candle at the top. So there's 3 candles involved. First candle is the candle at the bottom, then we have the candle in the middle, and then the candle at the top, the third candle. The wick, the top wick of the first candle and the bottom wick of the third candle doesn't touch each other. You can see how there's a space between the top wick. Okay, there's a space between the top wick of the first candle and the bottom wick of the second candle. Okay, and that wick, that distance there, that gap is basically what the fair value gap is. Okay, and then we have the support here, this red candle followed by this green candle. That's the support. Oh, gold is going back down. So basically you will just mark, you want to mark this red candle. Okay, so you want to mark the candle, the first candle that created that gap, right? So this candle and the candle next to it. Okay, so you just want to mark that entire thing. You put it inside the box, and then that is basically where you're going to look to go long, right? So price comes, you wait for it to tap the top. Usually the top part is where you want to enter. Okay, you enter your long when we tap the top part, then you go long. So that's what the market did here. It came tap into the top part, and then it bounced back. You can see it came here multiple times, but then the target, like I said, is the second lower the second lower high is your target, which is right here. This is where you, my friend, can actually start taking some of your profit right there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. This is the setup. Let me see if I can find another one. I showed you a buy version. Okay, I'm going to show you with gold. There's rarely the sell version. It's more buy. So here's another example. Okay, here's another example here. This one, it didn't tap. Okay, it went to the, it didn't fully came to the area, but it entered the zone. Okay, so here with this one, we have a downtrend. Okay, we have a downtrend that is playing out. Okay, and then the price breaks the previous lower low or lower high. I always get these two mixed up. Okay, it breaks the previous lower high, the most recent lower high right there, and then we have our fair value gap right here. Okay, so between this candle right here, so this is our fair value gap. Okay, so that is our fair value gap. I'm going to extend this to the right. Now what do we see? We can see how after breaking that first most recent lower high, it then went all the way up to the second lower high. It was able to break that second lower high, even went up higher, but then eventually it returned back down, and then it tapped into the zone, although it didn't come all the way down, you know, but it entered the zone, and then boom, it took off. Okay, now we have another example of it here, but this is like this one is a smaller movement, but if you start to really learn how to study like if you have this understanding that the market is always creating downtrends and uptrends, bigger versions of it, smaller versions of it, okay, major versions, minor versions of uptrend, downtrend, then you can be able to find this setup many times. So although we have this one here, this here is like, this was like one of it that played out, but we had another one right here. So here we also had a downtrend. Okay, this is a downtrend. Here's how you can know we are in a downtrend. When we have two previous lower low, it's bearish. Okay, downtrend just means a bearish move. Okay, prices has been gradually going down. We have two consecutive lower low. That is enough for you to consider as a downtrend. Okay, so that is basically, so here we had a minor downtrend. Because why am I calling it a minor? Is because it didn't last long, right? We just have two previous lower low, and then eventually price started going back up. So this is the previous low, this is a previous high here that I mark. Okay, so I mark that previous lower low. Yeah, the previous lower low. I need to actually bring this down a little bit to like here. That's the previous lower low and the lower high. Okay, so what we want to see, we want to see the price breaking the previous lower high for us to look to go long. It did right here. This is the candle that broke. This is the candle that broke that lower high, right? So below this candle, we're looking for the support. Okay, the support is either going to be a fair value gap or that red candle followed by green, right? Whichever one comes first is what we're going to mark. So below this candle, we see red followed by green, support right here. This is a support, guys. Okay, so this is something that you would have marked to look for along. Okay, and then we also have the fair value gap here. That would have been also another area to go long if price decides to come to it. But since this one is the one that comes first, we can look to go long there. Okay, so yeah, price came, tapped into this one, and then it went to the fair value gap instead, and then it bounced up and then went to the second lower high, which in this case is like right here. Okay, so all right, so that's, I think I'll find one more example and then we shall call it a day. Okay, we shall call it a night, I mean, because it's the day is over. Okay, here's another example. All right, so this is a downtrend. How do I know it's a downtrend? Because I can see two previous lower lows. Okay, that's all I need. Two previous lower low number one right here, lower low number two right here. That is it. I don't care about the rest. This is a minor downtrend that it was in. So what am I gonna do? I will mark the previous lower low, and then I will also mark the previous lower high like this. I just put it in a box. Okay, I just put it in a box like that, and then I will wait for the breakout. Okay, so you want to wait for the breakout of that lower high. Price broke above that lower high. Awesome. Now we want to mark the zone for us to buy. So the fair value gap or the red candle followed by green. Okay, so you can see this is the candle that broke it. Below that, we had a fair value gap right here. But remember, there's another fair value gap. So whenever we have multiple fair value gaps, always try to go long at the very last fair value gap. Okay, the very last fair value gap will be better. or at the support, which is the red candle followed by green. So in this case, we have right here. So we have this red candle followed by green. Okay. So I will just mark that area right there. And then we have the fair value gap. The very last fair value gap is actually down over here. Like I said, it's always good to enter with the very last fair value gap. Okay. So the very last fair value gap is right here, and you can see how the price came down to this, tapped into it, and then it took off. Okay, it took off, and then the second lower high would have been like your target, but no, not the second. So this high here. So now you can either target the second lower high, okay, if that's where price went to, but if there was a higher price or higher point the price went to before coming back to that fair value gap, okay, then you can target that high point as your TP, if that makes sense. So the second lower high is right here. This is the second lower high. Initially, this would have been where we would have targeted as our take profit, but price actually went higher. It went way past that. It actually went all the way here. So this is actually one area that will be the first take profit target. So price comes down, comes up, that will be your first take profit target. Okay. And you guys, you can go and see many examples. I was just trying to show you guys so you can just have an idea of what it looks like on the chart. Okay, this is the whole purpose of back testing this setup, is so you can have an understanding of how it looks like on the chart. So what I encourage you to do is to go and do your own back testing as well. All right, like I said, you can find a lot more setup on the 5-minute time frame, but you can also use 1 hour, 15, 30 minutes to look for this setup. Okay, so you remember what are you looking for? Number one, you are looking for, if it's in a downtrend, right, you want to mark the previous lower low and the previous lower high. That's your first step. After marking the previous lower low and the previous lower high, number two, you want to wait for the price to break above that previous lower high. Once it breaks above that previous lower high, number three, you now need to mark the support, or let's say the buy zone that was created for you below the candlestick that broke that lower high. And that support is either going to be in the form of a fair value gap or the red candle followed by green. Okay, so red followed by green, and then this is what you need to mark. And if you have a lot of fair value gaps that was created below the candle that broke that lower high, then make sure you look to buy the very last fair value gap. Don't buy the most recent, buy at the most the one that's the last one. That will be better. If there is no fair value gap at all, then you can look to buy at the red candle followed by green, the most recent one. Now with the red candle followed by green as well, if there's a bunch of red candle followed by green below that that candle that broke the lower high, buy at the very last one as well. Okay, if that makes sense. So that's for the downtrend. For the uptrend, if you analyze and you can see that it is an uptrend. Number one, you mark the previous higher high and the previous higher low, and then number two, you wait for the price to break the previous higher low. Once it has broken it, now you are looking for the resistance, or the, let's call it the sell zone that was created for you above that candlestick that broke the previous, for this one I didn't show you guys an example, but here's an example. So we have an uptrend right here. This is the previous lower or higher high and then higher low. Price broke it, Okay, so above this candle, we do have a fair value gap here, but we're not going to go with that because we have a bunch of others. So we go with the very last fair value gap, which in this case was, yeah, it was right here. Okay, so it was right here, very, very tiny, but this is basically it. Okay, so you mark that and this is where you want to enter your short. Now, I didn't talk about the stop loss. That'll be the last thing I forgot to mention. But your SL, by the way, you want to set your stop loss slightly above the current high. If it's the uptrend version of the setup, okay, you want to set your stop loss slightly above the current high. Okay, so slightly above it, like 20-30 pips above it. That would be great. And then if it's the downtrend version, you want to set your stop loss slightly below the current low. Okay, like slightly below the current low. So for this example, this is the current low. So I will set my stop loss like slightly below that. Okay. So other than that, that is it, guys. Go and back test it and then practice this on your demo account until you get the hang of it. And then come and let me know how it plays out. Okay. Let me know how it plays out. And remember, with this strategy, I said 5 minutes is on gold. Okay. Don't go try to use it on other pairs because it might not work. Gold is the best for this setup because it tends to number one is more volatile and it creates this setup a lot more often compared to other pairs like GBP USD, all those other pairs. You may not find this setup at all over there that often. Okay, so the pair that I recommend you trade this on is gold. Okay, so go to gold, back test, start with the 5 minute time frame, and then just be marking all the levels, just see how it's playing out so you get the hang of it. Okay, so with that being said, thank you guys for joining today's live. I stayed longer than I normally do, usually just 1 hour I'm supposed to be live, but we'll be back again tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for joining today's live. Thank you for the likes, for the gifts and everything. And if you haven't followed me yet, please make sure to follow me and make sure to also join the Telegram group. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Take care. Have a great night. Bye for now. And those watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave a thumbs up. Like this video. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.